you guys know me by now. I generally keep it pretty positive on this channel. I mean, I go on a couple of rants and I love doing those. But today, the video is going to be all negativity. It's going to be who is the most disappointing team in the North Division. And yeah, don't lie. I know you like this stuff, okay? I mean, look, everybody loves when their team's winning and everybody's high-fiving, kumbaya, buying Happy Meals. But also, the drama of losing teams also attracts the fans. So let's get into it right away. I want to talk about a few different teams. Number one, I want to get this out of the way right away. You guys probably saw this thumbnail. What do you mean Ottawa Senator disappointing? We knew they were going to be last place in the division. Yes, but it's the way they're losing. I came in saying, look, Ottawa's going to be a tough out, okay? They're going to work hard because that's all they can do. They don't have very much skill. But the way they're coming out here, man, they're getting blown out of the water. It's not even close. They're literally getting embarrassed every single night. Like they look like they should belong in the OHL here. And that's what's so disappointing about them. And let me be clear, they're not the biggest disappointment to me. But I do think it is incredibly disappointing how they're playing. There's talk of firing the coach. On a rebuilding team, things really aren't going well because, again, you want to ice a product. In hockey, they say there's two things you can sell. You can sell winning or you can sell hope. And right now, the Ottawa Senators are selling neither. Of course, you got your guys like Chabot, Tkachuk, Stützle, but after that, dude, ooh, it's looking rough in Ottawa. And again, I talked about this yesterday, but the whole veteran thing. Veterans should not be playing in the lineup over young guys just because they're veterans. Okay, that's not how this should work, and it's how it's working in Ottawa right now. The young guys who are sitting out not playing or playing in the AHL here should be playing over the veterans if the veterans aren't playing well. Guys like Galchenyuk, Stepan, Anisimov, these guys look absolutely brutal out there. And honestly, dude, take them out. Truly, I don't care what kind of pride, their ego is hurt if they're losing their roster spot to an 18-year-old. I don't care. He's better than you, bro. Get over it. Like, yeah, the standings isn't a huge deal, but the lack of complete, that is a huge, gigantic deal, because that's all you can do in this type of spot is just compete every night, and they're not doing that, save for a few guys. Next up, I want to talk about my dreaded Calgary Flames. Now, look, I know over the offseason they lost a couple of key guys, TJ Brodie notably, and Travis Hamonic. But look, this offseason, they went out, they literally threw a bunch of money at a big-name goaltender in Jacob Markstrom, and he's been phenomenal lately. He's been so good for this team, and so many games have just been wasted by him. And David Rittich, oh my God, does David Rittich not look good? And I know a lot of people are going to say, not his fault, not his fault, and that's true for a lot of goals. But at some point, when you're getting at 4 or 5 not his faults, you need a save, whether it's his fault or not. And again, the way the Flames are losing, that's what's so alarming here. Not just that they're losing. They come out and either they're just completely asleep. Like I said yesterday, they chug a bottle of NyQuil and they just don't show up for the entire first period and it burns them. Or they start relatively strong and then they take a penalty, they get scored on or just get scored on in general, and then they just go to sleep, okay? And that's what's so alarming about it. It's just like there seems to be some quit in this team, and you don't want that in a professional hockey team. When you see that there's some quit, some give up in your team, sound the alarm. And I know a lot of fans, Eric Francis, I'm looking at you, inside the organization and out, who like to point the finger at Gaudreau and Monahan. But the scary thing is, they've been amazing to start the season. They've both been really fantastic to start the year. It's not been their fault at all. If you ask me, the defense has really looked spotty, especially Mark Giordano and Rasmus Andersson. And Andersson, to me, I think he's been the best Flame defenseman the past little while, along with Gio, of course, for so many years. But they've really looked like a liability out there, which is crazy alarming for the Flames. And don't forget about the forward group there. Guys like Lucic, Derek Ryan looks brutal out there, and nobody's talking about it. Dominic Simone, I mean, what is it, 5 games into the season, coach already decides, hey, you got a healthy scratch him. This is not good. but still not my most disappointing team. Up next, this one, I just want to talk about it because what my crystal ball is telling me for the future, it's the Edmonton Oilers. Now, I know they're coming off a bunch of really big wins. McDavid and Draisaitl playing better than ever. Everybody's doing backflips, high-fiving, right? But the thing about the Edmonton Oilers is that a lot of these wins, you get them against the Leafs, who are good but can be beaten with bad habits. So then you keep developing bad habits. And then you blow out the Sens, so then you think, oh my god, we're the reincarnation of the Wayne Gretzky Edmonton Oilers. We're amazing, you know what I mean? And then even more bad habits start to form here. And in Edmonton, I'm still looking at the defense, and I don't see much that I like. I'm looking in net, and I don't see very much that I like either. I know Mike Smith is slated to come back soon, but still, man, Koskinen and Smith, I don't know about that duo. I said that before the year. I don't know about that duo. And up front, when McDavid and Draisaitl aren't going, because, look, they're going to be going, 90% of the time, but how many of those can you translate into wins? And then when they're not going at all, then you need guys like Puljujarvi, Yamamoto, Nugent-Hopkins, and it's great for these guys to chip in like they have been, but they need to chip in on a regular basis, and I don't know if I see them doing that. And they're definitely not my biggest disappointment because, yeah, they are winning. But I'm just saying, Oilers fans and NHL fans, keep an eye out for this team because there could be an implosion coming. Or they could skyrocket, they could go the other way and be great like they were last year before the pause. And now in the number one spot, drum roll please, it's the Vancouver Canucks. I don't even want to sell it, sugarcoat it, whatever it is. Come on, you knew it was going to be the Canucks here. And again, I hate to be just a broken record here, but the way they're losing. And they won on a 4-game win streak. Yeah, that looks great. And I'll give you this, that Jets win looked very nice for them on Hockey Night in Canada. But the thing is, the rest of them were against the Sens, right? And we saw what happened when they came up against a real team in the Montreal Canadiens. Absolutely spanked, okay? The Habs fed them their lunch and then grounded them. It was crazy. And I just look at the Canucks and it looks bad. And the reason they're the most disappointing to me, because I know Canucks fans are going to come out and say, well, we lost 10 Evan Markstrom. And yes, you can see that they definitely miss those two guys. But also, you pick up a guy like Holtby. He has a Stanley Cup under his belt. Supposedly before the season, he was supposed to still be pretty good, right? You pick up a guy like Nate Schmidt from Vegas. Once upon a time, he was the best defenseman in Vegas. And yeah, I know that Tyler Toffoli loss hurts especially more now, but you had a guy in Niels Höglander coming in who is a great player, and he was, okay, you know what, that can even out for Toffoli. That's what it was looking like at the beginning of the season. And then you had Bo Horvat coming into zone. Pettersson and Besser really playing well coming off the last playoffs. And speaking of that, that's why this is such a huge disappointment for me, is because of that playoff run they went on. And yes, the Markstrom-Tanev effect, but also that entire team last year impressed me so much in the bubble. I was like, dude, this is not a one-hit wonder here. This is a real good team. And they're going to do some big things. And they might still do big things, but they look like complete opposites of what they did in the bubble. And to me, that's why they're the biggest disappointment, because they've fallen so far from what they were just a couple of months ago. But I'll tell you what, Canucks fans, with the way the Flames are playing, they're not far behind, and they could very quickly become the most disappointing team. But to me, that's who I think it is right now. It's the Vancouver Canucks, followed closely by the Flames, and I would say the Sens, and maybe in the future here, the Oilers, once they start playing really good teams and maybe losing to them on a more consistent basis. Let me know what you guys think so far. Who's the most disappointing? Who do you anticipate having an implosion? Okay, who do you anticipate having a 2014 Toronto Maple Leafs, Randy Carlyle type implosion, I should say. Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe for daily hockey content if you're new. Like this video. See you in the next one.